Welcome. I'm Jeremy Stout, the Nature Center Manager at Steel Creek Park, and I'm filling in for Sheridan Nichols this time. In July, the Bristol, Tennessee City Council officially designated this month as Parks and Recreation Month in the city of Bristol, Tennessee. So we're so happy to have a slate of guests to help us celebrate. And so welcome to Inside Bristol. Our first guests today are Sonny Shermer and Michelle Sparks of the Friends of Steel Creek Nature Center and Park. So I want to welcome you all to Inside Bristol and ask you, how are you? What's going on?
We're doing great, thank you.
And I hardly recognized you, not in your Steel Creek Park manager's uniform.
Well, I had to tell people that's where I worked because they may not recognize me. So tell me about the Friends of Steel Creek Nature Center and Park. What do you do? What's your mission?
Well, we'll start with a little bit of history, if you don't mind, because getting the Nature Center to where it is right now took a very, very long time. Friends of Steel Creek Park were founded in 1997, incorporated as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Our only and main purpose is the park and the Nature Center. That's the only reason we exist. We work very closely with the City of Bristol, Park and Recreation Department, with the staff at the Nature Center, and our vision is to help all Bristolians get outside and enjoy nature and just get moving. Our mission is a little bit different. We're encouraging the stewardship of our natural world, and we're engage and inspire and promote educational experiences and physical activities within the park.
Wonderful, that is terrific.
So getting to the Nature Center now, in 1996, the City of Bristol appointed a vision committee to set up 5-10-year goals for the park. And one of the main things that came out of that was to expand the Nature Center. At that point, it was just a single building, rather dark inside. And so since that time, we've been working at expanding the Nature Center. It's taken us 20 years, but we've finally gotten to the point where we've put the last exhibit in the new expansion of the Nature Center.
But you all got there. That's wonderful.
We got there.
So you all are an entirely volunteer board of folks who just donate their time and talents. So Michelle, what are some of your all's proudest accomplishments?
Funny you should ask. At the end of the year, we have our annual meeting, and I'm always amazed when we reflect back on so many things that we've accomplished as a volunteer group. And that list is here, but some of the things that we have incorporated, we've just finished our last two inside exhibits. The city had built the building, and the Friends of Steel Creek raised all of the money locally to build all of the exhibits. And the last two were just completed. Thanks to this lady here and so many other volunteers, but she dealt specifically with the designer, Ed Hackley, and worked very hard with him. And we only built the exhibits when we raised the money for the exhibits. So we never went into debt in any way. We didn't have to apply for anything else. Right. And so we had fundraisers, we had open houses, and this was important to us to accomplish all of that.
That's right. We
have a jewel of a nature center. We have a wonderful staff that puts on programs. We have summer camps for the kids. We have programs all year long. And we're very proud of what we've done. And some of the accomplishments are due to some of the specific volunteers. We have Harvey Anderson, who I think is going to be on the program a little bit later, who is an Appalachian Trail through hiker. He offers and has offered 19 hikes for anyone interested in hiking at the park on now the third Wednesday of the month. The Bristol Bird Club has a morning walk or an evening walk on the second Thursday of the month. The Friends are always working with the city. We have a Friends-City partnership meeting regularly to discuss the goals of the city and what the Friends can do to help. We've done things like provide cabinets for the research area, Many things like that, that when the need is there, we try to step in and help. We have wonderful volunteers. Wes Walker is our events coordinator, and Sonny will tell you some of the things that we've done with that. And everyone works together. When we have board meetings, we never have people say no or nay or I don't agree with that, because we're always voting on something positive for the park.
Incredible.
And the Nature Center.
And so the Friends are involved in all aspects of the Nature Center's mission. So you all are behind the scenes, you're fundraising, but you're also there engaging in programs directly with the public, you're facilitating research that's happening at the Nature Center. Whatever the Nature Center is doing, you all are there, is that right?
Exactly. We raised money to purchase books for the library. And the library is, as you know, nature-oriented. And as Michelle said, we've raised money for several of the projects, the apiary that was put in it outside in the park. We each year have Wildlife Weekend in October. In April we have the Trash Bash, where we clean up around the Nature Center and the lake and everything. And she mentioned that we do give research grants to local students that want to run projects in the park.
Oh, that is truly incredible. I thank you so much for what you do and for being here today. And I know you all are always looking for new talent, so if you are interested in learning more about the Friends, or if you'd like to get involved, you can find them online at www.friendsofsteelcreek.org. So thank you,
And you
Sonia
can
and Michelle.
also get brochures to sign up at the Nature Centers, and you must go to the Nature Center because it is awesome.
On site at the Nature Center. We'll see you there, and we'll be right back. Well, welcome back to Inside Bristol. This time we're calling it Outside Bristol. We just heard from a couple of our friends of Steel Creek Nature Center and Park, and continuing that theme, I have here Harvey Anderson, who's one of the volunteers with the Friends of Steel Creek Nature Center and Park, and he's an avid hiker and adventurer, and you've lived an incredible life. But first I have to ask you, Harvey, everybody calls you the Commander. Tell us about Commander Anderson.
Well, that was my trail name on the AT, Appalachian Trail. But before that, I'm a retired naval officer. I made commander in the Navy, and then when I retired, I started teaching naval JROTC at Sullivan East High School, and people referred to me as Commander Anderson, and instead of saying Coach or Mr. Anderson, they just say Commander. And
wow.
So just an added aside there, real quick, is. I coach tennis also, and my students or my athletes would say, hey, should we call you Commander or Coach? And I said, well, you can call me anything you want to, just don't call me late for lunch. But most of them started calling me Coach, and that lasted for about a day, and then every one of them started calling me Commander. When we'd go on away games, the kids say, hey, Commander, can you help me do this? And the other athletes on the other team say, how come you call your coach Commander? So Commander's just always stuck.
It spreads. It sounds like you've come by it honestly and through several different avenues.
And I have. And so and I take great pride in it too.
And so you tell me you've hiked the entire Appalachian Trail? Was that a through hike?
It was a through hike. I started in April 5th, 2018. My wife and older daughter dropped me off at Springer Mountain, Georgia. And like I say, on April the 5th, and they kissed me goodbye, and I'm right at the trail there, and they turned to walk away, and I look at them and say, gosh, what in the world am I doing? And I yell after my wife, hey, when you get home back to Bristol, answer the phone, because it'll be me telling you to come pick me up. And but you know, from April the 5th to September the 16th, 165 days, I completed the trail.
Wow, that's incredible. So that's no small feat, and you have to have hiking chops before you ever get there, and then you definitely develop those as you hike. And I understand that you bring those skills to the Friends organization and to Steel Creek Park. Tell me about that.
Well, I'm not sure I bring any skills, and you know, I just have to back up a minute here. My wife always said I should be a stand-up comedian. I'm halfway there. I can stand up. But you had mentioned that's no small feat. When I hiked the trail was no small feat. have a size 14 foot and use 5 pair of shoes doing the trail. But anyway, I acquired a bunch of skills on the trail, on the AT, and I kind of like hopefully I bring those to hikes that I do in Steel Creek Park. The hikes in Steel Creek, we are blessed. We are blessed to have Steel Creek, 2,400 acres right in the city, third largest municipal park in the state, and it's right downtown. I mean, you can get lost right in the city, and there are a whole bunch of trails there, like 20 trails, 25 miles of trails, and you need to do all the proper things that you would do on the AT. You need to do at Steel Creek also. You need to carry your water, your food, your first aid kit, your map, your compass, things like this. Leave no trace. So it's just, we are so blessed to have Steel Creek here.
Agreed. And so you lead public hikes in Steel Creek Park, and you do these regularly, and they're available to the public. Is that right?
The president of the Friends Steel Creek Nature Center in Steel Creek Park, Michelle Sparks, asked me to do this February of 2022. She said, "Hey, would you consider doing this?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And so I did one, and it was well received. Had 19 people on it. It's in February. Had 19 people on it, and they said, "Hey, let's do it again." I said, "We'll do it again next month." They said, "No, let's do it again in a couple of weeks." So the first year, I was doing them like every couple of weeks, and I do all the trails in the park. Some are difficult, some are steep, some are not. All are fun though. All are fun and enjoyable, and you can learn something from all the trails here. But I do it right now. I'm doing it the third week of every month. Anybody's invited. Michelle will put a little post on the Friends Steel Creek Park Facebook page, and if you let me know, I can send you. I have an email of about 20 people that usually come on them, and they say, "Hey, notify us anytime you do that." And so the numbers are kind of expanding, and most people seem to have a good time. I'm really pleased I haven't lost anybody yet, and so if I take 10 out, I bring 10 back.
It's the same 10?
I don't go that far.
Okay.
I don't want to press my luck, but if I got 10 out and then 10 back, I count it a wash.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. And so these programs are available. How do I find out about them?
Well, you can look at the Friends Steel Creek Park Facebook. You can contact me. Jean, who works at the Nature Center with you, she goes on all the hikes. You can call the Nature Center, and Jean can tell you about them.
That's right. So we can let folks know from
Sure.
the Nature Center as they happen. That's wonderful. Well, Harvey, thanks so much for being with us today. It's great to see you as always. And remember that you are invited to take a hike with Harvey. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Outside Bristol, Inside Bristol. So we've heard from some of our friends of Steel Creek Nature Center and Park, but I'm now happy to welcome back to the show Beth Carter, who is recreation programmer with the City of Bristol, Tennessee, and overseer of many things Steel Creek Park. Welcome back, Beth.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, well, glad to have you. So tell me, it's summertime. July is Parks and Rec month officially in Bristol, Tennessee. Steel Creek is a good place to celebrate.
It is
right?
the place to celebrate, I think. Personally, I'm biased, but we do have so many amenities out there. I mean, outside of the natural aspects like the hiking trails where you can bike and obviously you can't swim in the lake, but we've got a lake there so you can kayak and canoe or whatever you want to do. But we also offer all these recreational activities like paddle boats, and we've got our train and our splash pad. So even though the summer is kind of winding down a little bit and we do stop going all week long, about halfway through August, we keep going on the weekends for all of our amenities. So you can ride the train as many times as you want, you can ride the paddle boats as many times as you want. Through Labor Day weekend, we'll have our splash pad open, running all day long through the end of September even. So even though school's kind of starting back and everyone's a little about it, not a problem. You can still come back to Steel Creek Park and enjoy and feel like you're back in summertime.
So it's hard to believe, but yeah, all the parents are getting ready to send the kids back to school. But you're saying Steel Creek is still going full tilt right now.
We're going strong. We keep enjoying all your summer activities through September, and we'll be out there. But we're going to shut everything down after Labor Day. But we're taking September to prepare our train to do our annual Spooky Express. So starting that last weekend in September, we will run every weekend in October, running a Halloween themed train.
Wow, that sounds like
we're really excited.
Is it really scary? Is it okay for little kids?
Oh, it is. Happy for all ages. We have our skeletons, we have our spooky stuff, but ultimately everyone seems to enjoy it. I haven't had any customers that ran away crying yet, so far so good, yeah.
Well, that sounds great. So paddle boats, train, park admission, splash pad, it's a lot of fun stuff, but it sounds expensive.
Oh, so expensive, let me tell you. It takes a whole $2 to get into the park, and we have free parking options.
Per person, or is that per car?
It's per car, so we're really trying to take your wallet here. But there's also free parking on both sides of the park, on the Mill Creek side and as well as our golf course side. So if that is a deal breaker for you, you have options available. But really and truly, we're really trying to steal everybody's money at the train and the paddle boats because we're charging $1 per person.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I've got a family of 4. You're telling me that I can bring all of them into the park. We can do a train ride, a paddle boat ride, splash pad, $10 for the whole outfit.
I think the math checks out, yeah.
Well, that's incredible. Well, Beth, thank you so much for being here this time.
No problem.
And she hopes to see you at Steel Creek Park. So thanks again.
We'll be there.
Awesome. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to Inside Bristol. We're here with my final guest, which is Lance Jesse. He is a naturalist at the Nature Center at Steel Creek Park, and that's here in Bristol, Tennessee. And he's also the newest full-time member of the staff there at the Nature Center. So, Lance, your uniform looks pretty familiar there. Tell me what you do at the Nature Center.
So, as a naturalist, I do all the typical naturalist responsibilities. I do educational programs. We do kids camps and school field trips and all that good stuff. But more recently, in the last few years, I've been in charge of the research and collections at the park. Cool. So I've been managing those collections, which we have some examples here.
I noticed our display changed a little bit over the break. So what did you bring here?
Well, I brought us a black bear skull here, which is a local one from Greene County. And then also do have a rattlesnake skull and rattle there, pileated woodpecker, and a small rat snake right there as well.
Wow. So this is pretty cool. You know, I think a lot of our viewers have been to the Nature Center, and if they haven't, you definitely need to go because it's such a cool place. But there's a lot of space there that most visitors to the park and to the Nature Center don't see on a day-to-day basis. There's things that happen behind closed doors that are actually pretty cool. Can you talk about some of those initiatives?
Sure. Well, we've started a research collection there. We have in the back of the house. We've got herbarium collection, insect collection with a few thousand specimens for each of those. We've also got some geological specimens and also an osteological collection, which is a skeleton collection of modern vertebrates. So a lot of my work recently has been preparing a lot of these specimens and cataloging them, managing the databases for future research, and also supervising some volunteers that we have there working on the collections as well.
Well, that's wonderful. So this is an incredible few examples that you brought with us. Now, of course, whenever I see something like a bear skull or even that snake, I would much rather see it living and thriving out in the wild. Where did the Nature Center get these?
Yeah, so all of our collections, all of our vertebrate collections, they were all salvaged. So nothing was collected live. So these are all mostly roadkill and some window kill birds. So they were collected already dead.
So the Nature Center has permits to have these things, but you don't actually go out and take these things from the wild and bring them in.
Exactly.
Is that right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And so if I were a researcher or a scientist or a professor or a K-12 teacher or homeschool co-op leader, I could come and ask to do some kind of program with these specimens or maybe access these specimens for my own research. Mm-hmm. How does that work?
Yeah, so if you're a researcher with a university or if you're a graduate student or undergraduate student as well, You could just get permission from us. We have certain paperwork that you'd have to fill out, but just permission from us to access our collections would be all that you need.
That's absolutely incredible. So as far as, in addition to managing this collection and curating it, this is also being used in research, right?
Yeah, so some of our specimens are being actively studied at the moment, mostly our snake specimens. Some of our copperheads and rattlesnakes that we have are actively being worked on.
Wow, and so this is, are these mostly college professors and things, or is it the Nature Center staff?
Mostly right now Nature Center staff, but we're hoping to collaborate with some universities or get some students out there doing some research in the park as well.
So that may be a surprise. The folks that come into the Nature Center and they see Big Snappy and they play in the crawl-in cave and they enjoy or maybe go on a nature hike with us, but you're saying that actual scientific research is happening in the Nature Center and that research is being published in academic journals?
It is. So
wow.
We recently had a publication about a year ago with our Nature Center staff.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible. Well, Lance, I want to thank you for what you do at the Nature Center, and thanks so much for being here today. And most importantly, thank you for watching. Just a reminder that Sheridan should be back for our next episode. But thank you for putting up with me today while we were outside Bristol.